Morning, Woodies. I know, it's so lovely.
It's so soothing, right? Like
you've made it when you have an intro. That's just it. You've made it.
That's like elevator music.
Mm-hmm. Music, if you will.
Yes.
Got to shake up my collagen.
Shake your collagen. Shake your collagen.
My collagen brings all the boys to the
yard. That's it, folks. Take it easy.
Thank you and good night.
Yes, I'm here
special day today. What's up, everyone? I'm Allie Burns. This is Detroit Lenny. You're watching Morningwood right here on the Max Wagers Network. We are brought to you, of course, by BetMGM. Up to $1,000 in a risk-free first bet for all new for all new accounts. Make sure that you get signed on with BetMGM. Download the app onto your phone. Use the promo code MORNING. Make it happen, people. Get hooked up because you know why it's so important? Because freaking football's back, Lenny.
I heard a rumor.
Football.
I heard a rumor.
I want to run through a wall.
I would.
That's you, not me. We do have special guests today. We've got two of them. I've got Scott Reichel from Winners and Winers, and I've got Ross Mann from the Insiders Room. Here's the fun part of this. These are the two guys that you went heads up with in Total Chaos. This is your beef.
This is my strategy, though. I did it's a slow kill. Got to tie him the first week. In the great words of Dan Campbell. I'm just going to speak in Dan Campbell quotes for the rest of the show. I'm going to tread water until I effing bury you. So, boom. That's what I'm doing. So, Scott Reichel, you're on notice.
You heard that, Scott Reichel?
He's not paying attention. He's like, what?
He's like, bring all the smoke. I'm not afraid of you.
I know. He's like, what?
Zero scared.
We what? When we were on
1-3, both went. So, Lenny, and the funny part is Lenny sends me this thing. He's like, I won. I'm like, no, you didn't. It's written on my board right here. He's like, yes, I did. And he sends me his picture.
She sent me a screenshot. I sent her a screenshot of my work, and then she's like, hey, jackass, Padres game or whatever the game was didn't go over. Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, this is why I wasn't really listening. I wasn't listening to the trash talk because we tied. So I don't really know how you can trash talk after a draw, but whatever.
Well, for a brief moment, I got you right where I want you.
I got you right where I want you.
Where's that?
There. Lined up. I get slow kill. Now I'm in your head because I can tie you. And then next week, ask Ross, man. He'll be on here earlier.
We both went 1-3, so you're in my head now. I don't know what that does. I don't know. That doesn't excuse me going 1-3, but we're gonna see what happens moving forward.
Steen had a rough day at the office. He was 0-4.
That happens. He was too busy bragging. He was high and mighty as the king of the episode because I believe he had the best record. Yeah. And then he had to be put in his place a little bit by the gambling gods.
I'll
be right back.
That's how it works. That is oh my God. Okay. That is exactly how it works. Hi, Brandon. Maureen, Allie Burns. Morning to you too, Brandon. Hi, Thomas. Thomas, you got to pick again because Jay Jones lost and you lost. So you guys both pick again for the last Woody. If you both get it wrong today, that money rolls over into the new pot, into the pot that's happening right now. J Rock AZ with the Braves and the Marlins over 7. I was looking. Let's talk some baseball. What are you up to, Scott Reichel? Hi.
Hi. How's it going? Lovely weather we're having, I think. I know it was raining in Vegas the other day, right?
It was cold last night. It was an effing thunderstorm last night. Yeah.
I imagine that people in Vegas treat rain like how most people treat snow. It's like half celebration, half I kind of miss it when it was actually clear skies. Kind of somewhere in the middle. Was it bad? Like pouring rain bad?
Oh, yeah, because everything floods immediately. Our ground isn't used to absorbing water. So just immediately it floods. But I just got new windshield wipers and I was super stoked to use them.
Do they go swish, swish, swish or no?
Uh-huh. Just like the wheels on the bus go round and round. Yeah. These puppies swish, swish, swish. But yeah, I was kind of excited about that. I get to use my windshield wipers. Not great.
Excited about that.
Driving in the rain.
What was I doing? People out here have no idea how to drive in the rain. They get so, and I'll tell you what, it's because of the way the streets are. They don't see a lot of water, so they're so hot, and then you get a little bit of water, they just get slick.
But can we agree that drafting looks so much cooler in the rain, though?
Definitely.
Just like a
drafting, drifting, like anything related.
But I want like a mist rain. You know, I don't want a down trench pour like type thing. I want like
I love the downpour.
Steady mist.
Anything but rain. Yeah. When rain comes up from underneath, in the words of Forrest Gump, not a good time. You know.
Oh yeah.
That's where I draw the line. But
it's factual.
Reichel in the building. Joe Madden's got Reichel. I love the guests. Well, awesome. You guys are going to love Rossman too. Rossman's really cool, and he is a big football guy. So I don't know if you guys heard, but like we've got 5 football games happening tonight, and there is already a Total Chaos out. The Insiders Room did NFL Total Chaos. So you guys Google that, Total Chaos picks and parlays, and you can get some free picks on the totals. Yo, Lenny, I'm on your Lions today. Reichel, you were saying you like the Lions today. Lenny, you like the Lions every day. Let's talk Lions, all right? That's a great place to open up. We have, here it is right here. The Falcons are at the Lions. Detroit -2.5. It started at a 3. It's ticking down. Opened at 33. Now it's 35.5 for the total. Lenny, open her up. Initial thoughts.
He has the hat on.
Lions win 42-0.
There it is. Reichel, your thoughts?
I'm going with the Lions in this one. It's a spot where both teams actually are going to be using starters for a drive or two. But the way that I'm looking at it, I'm trying to compare the depth charts. Atlanta last year was one of the worst preseason teams I've ever seen. And you can talk about the backup being Ritter. And truth is, I really wasn't that high on Ritter out of college. I watched him at Cincinnati. I didn't think his deep ball accuracy was very good. And it's also his first exposure to NFL action. And you're looking at who the Lions have as the backups. They have 2 guys who you wouldn't want to have as your starting quarterbacks in the regular season. But Blau and Boyle are very preseason experienced, and they've been pretty good in the past. And I think that they can perform well. And the issue that you run into for Atlanta, for some reason, their 3rd-string quarterback is still Felipe Franks. For some reason. For some reason. And he has been awful in the preseason. Last year, he's been awful ever since he was at Florida at the back end. But if you have to come down to a 4th quarter and you have either Blau or Boyle against Franks, that's a huge advantage for Detroit, in my opinion. I'm going to take the Lions. Now, I know that Campbell went 0 for last year in the preseason, but based on Hard Knocks and based on the overall vibes of the team, it seems like they're going to come out with a lot more intensity, and it seems like this team remembers potentially going 0 for in the preseason. But from what I saw last year with Atlanta, I hope for their sake they weren't trying in the preseason last year because they were awful, and Mariota's going to get a series or 2. What did he do last year? What was he, a gadget quarterback for the Raiders? Like, he really didn't do much when it came to throwing the ball. So I'm not exactly sold on Atlanta's quarterback depth, and I like the preseason quarterback depth for Detroit. I'll take Detroit at home.
All right.
That's a big reason for me. It's the same thing. I mean, I know I sound like a homer and I preach Lions all the time, but Scott's 100% right. At home, the intensity that the Lions are playing with, I mean, get me all worked up. I got to take breaths. The first practice, he had them practice full pads going at each other. And some of those guys, he even said, if you watched it on Hard Knocks, he said it after practice. I know some of you players are looking at me like I'm nuts for going full pads, full speed right out the gate. But we need as many reps as we can get. Public is eating up all the Hard Knocks. Don't hate, bro. It's the truth. I mean, you saw all the intensity that was there, and they're ready to roll, and they're going to come out that they're playing this game as if it was, I think at least the first half, as if it was a regular season game.
I just can't look past potentially backing Felipe Franks in the 4th quarter of a preseason game. Right. So I'm on Detroit. You know, that's where I'm going.
All the shit you want about the Lions, that's fine. But you're putting your money on a guy named Felipe.
What's up, Craig Trapp? What's up, Ross, man? Lenny is drinking the Kool-Aid. Lenny makes the Kool-Aid. Lenny has got a big giant picture.
Who are you drinking the Kool-Aid on?
Lions.
Bro, you got to ask somebody.
Hard Knocks.
Let's go. Let's go, baby Lions.
Let's go. Football's here. Football's here, Ross, man. Let's go. So what do you think about the line? Everybody, this is Ross, man. He's from the Insider's Room. He is a huge
going?
football fan. This is his jam. What do you think about the Lions? Reichel and Lenny are already on them.
Well, that's right. And we're talking hometown here for us. So
you're a Michigan guy. That's right.
Yes. Statistically and historically, the Lions suck in the preseason, with the exception of the year they went 0-16. They went 4-0 in the preseason. Go figure that. So
talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. But I love what Dan Campbell's got going on over in Detroit right now. I love it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid too, and I am all about it. Preseason bets are usually tough, and we all know that. But what Dan Campbell's got going on over there, I think the backups are going to play hard too. So I mean,
right?
It's just, and I mean, I looked. He just looks like a guy who can get the most out of every player on the field. I don't know if anyone watched that video or it was a TikToker. Like the dude's crying, like out on the field, like just telling him how much, like every day he thinks about them first.
That was Jamal Williams, I think.
Dan Campbell did right before Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams also
Campbell
cried
started
during
the breakdown after the practice. Yeah, and then gave it to Jamal Williams, and Jamal Williams got.
But I mean, I know,
like
for us that have played sports, we always talk about the coach that you would run through a brick wall for. Dan Campbell's that man. I will run through a brick wall for that man, and I'm sure his players will too. So I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid right now.
That's fair.
All right, so we're all on the Lions. Up next, we have got what else is going on here? We've got the Browns and Jacksonville. Jacksonville was 1.5. Now they're down to a 1. The total was 33. Now it's 36.5. Reichel, thoughts on the Browns and the Jags?
Well, the over money is solely because of the fact that both Lawrence and Watson are going to play. So they're pricing in the fact that you're going to have a full quarterback depth chart being active for this game. Now, the Jaguars already played a game. They didn't play well. They technically showed up, but not really because they got absolutely buried. But usually teams that have already played a preseason game have a bit of an advantage against a team that hasn't played a game yet.
Right.
But Jacksonville was so bad. I really don't know how to fully evaluate that first game. Stefanski, though, has been good in preseason games as the head coach of the Browns. I'm really torn on this one. I think I'm going to go with Cleveland. I don't feel great about it, but I really was not impressed by Jacksonville in that first game. Now, I will acknowledge that Bettors was injured. He's going to play in this game, so Jacksonville does have a better quarterback depth chart than they did in the first game. But Deshaun Watson's going to play. I'm not sure how well. They still have Brissett. They still have some other options. But Stefanski, so far as a young head coach, is undefeated in the preseason. It's not Baltimore winning 21 straight, but it's 3-0. I'll take Cleveland.
Ross, man, so let me ask you the question about Deshaun. Because he's going to play and he's facing this possible 6-game suspension, my idea behind it is that, like, he's going to play. He's going to come out and play and be like, you want to suspend me? This is what's up, kind of a vibe. What are your thoughts on it? Am I off here?
No, I completely agree. And truthfully, I feel like a lot of people kind of would have a similar mindset too. At least I would. It's like you're going to suspend me. You're going to, throw me in the dirt and all that. I'm going to show you what I'm all about. Granted, it's still the preseason,
Right.
granted,
but he might not get to play, right?
He could be looking at a massive suspension regardless of what happens, a minimum of 6, who knows. But he's definitely going to go out and look to kind of show why Cleveland bet the farm on him. So I like Cleveland here.
Okay, so Reichel's Cleveland, you're Cleveland, Detroit Leonard.
I'm leaning over too, for the record.
You're leaning over. Nick Earl's leaning over. Ross, do you have a lean on the total?
What was the total on that?
30,
it was
36
it was like 33, 34, and now it's up to 36. So the fact that I kind of missed the boat on 2 points in the preseason isn't ideal. So it might be a little late to bet.
Watson, though, they raised that number because Watson's going to play.
I don't know. I don't know if I can take an under with this situation.
Yeah, that could easily be like a 21-17 game too. So that's I take the over.
Okay, Lenny, what do you think? Browns and over?
I do lean Browns, but I lean under because I just don't think Jacksonville gets anything. Maybe 10 points here. I mean, maybe. I just don't see I'm not impressed with what Jacksonville did. I know
it went over when they played the Raiders and they got 0.
And it was all the Raiders. I know, and I really lean Browns just to blow them out, though. The Browns, Cleveland wants to make sure they got what they got with Deshaun. So they're going to give him his reps, whether he's suspended 6 games or all year. He's the answer there. So they like that. But on the flip side of that, but you look at, I mean, Cleveland, Jacoby Brissett can play. I mean, and I'm going to use this term and give Scott credit for it. He's a preseason veteran. Okay. He's been, you know what I mean? He's that guy. He's been around the block. He can play. Cleveland might have the best 1-2 running back punch in football. I'm just telling you right now with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Arguably 1, 2, 3, because Dearness is pretty good too.
Exactly. So you're going to take 1, 2 out. They don't get that many reps. Their 3rd, 4th string running backs are pretty damn good. So they're going to I think they're going to control the clock and run a lot of the ball. And with that, when you control the clock and run the ball, you win games and it goes under. So that's the reason I look under, but I just have Cleveland as a side.
I'm also a bit confused what Jacksonville's game plan is going to be with the quarterbacks, because the only quarterback who did anything in the first game was Slaughter. But now you have Bettors back. So are you just not going to play Luton? Are you not going to play Slaughter? You have an extra quarterback now. I don't exactly know what they're going to do.
I don't know. Jacksonville's building. Trevor Lawrence is unfortunately going to go through some struggles in this year and next year. I think they'll be better than they were last year, but maybe by a game or two. Not much. I
got them with 3.
They'll be drafting in the top 3 picks next year. So I don't think.
Why is Jacksonville the favorite in this? Like, just from the outsider perspective, it just seems like, I mean, if you're going to move that total so much because Deshaun is playing, I mean, Deshaun's playing. Why is Jacksonville the favorite here? Just because they've already played a game? Because I think
that's a big part of it.
I think that's a huge part. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. They've played a game, and ever since they drafted Trevor Lawrence, that whole everyone's just leaning on that 4-letter word of hope with Jacksonville. So they're just thinking that, oh man, they're going to do something. No.
If they win 5 games, this regular season, I'll actually be impressed.
I would be as well, even with if Travis Etienne is healthy, which I think he can add a lot. But 5 wins would be phenomenal.
I think if you're a Jacksonville fan and you get 5 wins, you're thinking 3 years, 4 years down the road, you're a contender.
I said 3-14. I think that's a realistic finishing record.
I would agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So next one up, we're talking the Jets and the Eagles. Eagles are a -1. It was 33.5. Now it's 35.5. What do we got going on? Rossman, you start us off on this one.
This is one of those games that it's even on the regular season. I mean, I lean Eagles on this one. Just simply because I just don't think the Jets are any good, period. Regardless of whether it's preseason or not. I don't know if we're going to see much of the starters for Philadelphia, and I'm not sure it matters. There's just nothing to really look forward to for the Jets preseason wise. I mean, maybe the regular season, Zach Wilson plays a little bit and does well. I don't know, but I don't see the Eagles for me. They're going to win this one.
All right, Reichel, agree or disagree?
I think I'm actually going to disagree on the side. I think my favorite play on this game is actually the over, because I actually love the quarterback depth charts for both teams in preseason. They got a lot of pretty good options there. Hurts is going to play a little bit. You got Minshew as the backup quarterback, and then you have extreme preseason veteran Reed Sinnett as the 3rd stringer. The Jets, though, they got Zach Wilson, hit or miss. The Jets are the only team in the league, though, with an elite backup quarterback, because they got Joe Flacco. And they also, that's a joke in there, pun intended. And then they also have Mike White. Mike White's the 3rd string quarterback. Like, that's a pretty solid trio for preseason football. But I'm going to go with the Jets. because I personally think that Saleh cares more about the preseason. I saw the Jets go undefeated last year. There was a tie in there in the preseason. Sirianni didn't win a preseason game, and they also lost to New England by 35. Philly, from what I've seen, does not care about the preseason. It seems like Saleh does, so I'll lean to the Jets, but I do like the over because I do like the quarterbacks at play, and I think as a result, 35.5 does seem a little bit too low.
All right, Lenny, you're the tiebreaker. Jets or Eagles?
I will say this. I'm high on the Jets this year.
I am too. I'm super high on the Jets.
Robert Saleh, I think, is exactly what Scott said. He's hungry. They are, to me, maybe, I don't know, I follow the Lions more, so I know more about them, but I look at them as like a Lions-esque type team. A lot of intensity, a lot of young guys. They're rebuilding. They're changing the culture there, doing all that. And that guy, that's another coach that you would want to run through a wall for. And I think he's defensive minded. So that being said, I don't think the Eagles are banged up all around. And
the offensive line is destroyed.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to be grossly overestimated this year. I'm fading them. I'm looking at just getting against them all year. I'm on the Lions week 1 already. I know, shocker, against the Eagles, but I like the Jets tonight. I do like it to go under as well. The MILF Hunter is in full effect, and if he gets on the field quick and fast, it's bang bang. They won't know what hit him. It's just like I'm not even going to go there. So,
you said the under. I was leaning over because I do like the backup quarterback options for both teams.
I do, but I like the under because I like the defensive for both teams. I like the Jets defense. I do. I think they're going to fly around. I like what they did in the offseason, and I just I lean under. I have a bet on the Jets, so that's where I'm at as far as
I tend to agree under a little bit. Even though we're not on the same size, I tend to agree under. Right. The Jets offense is very, very young and very inexperienced.
Yeah,
top to bottom. We're not just talking starters. I mean, we're looking at starters that are not huge veterans for the most part, and then a lot of guys that will see playing time tonight are young guys. So their whole offense is young top to bottom. Their defense, not as young. You got some more experience, Solomon Thomas. So you've got some more experience. I think the under could play. I'm
just looking at motivation on the side. Saleh's undefeated in the preseason. Sirianni's winless. Right. It just seems like Saleh has cared more from a very small sample size, 3 preseason games last year. But it seems like Saleh cares more about the preseason than Sirianni. So I'd rather bet the Jets because I do expect, worst case scenario, a better effort. But
I think when you talk the Jets, you talk Lions, stuff like that, you're talking about teams that don't have that clear-cut number ones across the board. I mean, in certain skilled positions, yes. But a lot of teams in preseason are using this to figure out who's that number 3 guy to make that 53-man roster or whatever, or so whatever. So, but the Lions, they got like 30 guys that they know are making that roster. Where most teams have like 45, and you're trying to plug in like 5 or 6 guys here and there maybe to adjust that roster and special teams. These teams are looking at everybody who's their number ones, like, because they don't know yet. I mean, a handful of people, you know what I mean? But that's where I'm at on them.
That is a lot. I love that competition, though. I love it. Get them all fired up. Work for it, baby. You better earn your spot. Let's go.
Damn right.
Watch out for Tariq Black. Started off playing at Michigan, so I'm hoping that he plays for the Jets. See how well he does.
We don't talk about the.
We'll talk about the whores.
I do.
Whores of Ann Arbor.
Go green, go white.
Sparty party. Where's Tate when we need him? So we've got the Cardinals at the Bengals. That's going to go down as well. Cincinnati is -2.5 down to a -2. Total on this one moved down 2 points as well. Now it's at a 31.5. Reichel, your thoughts?
I think this is the one game that I am guaranteed to pass on in the preseason tonight. The total is around 31. Like, that is disgusting. And based on what I've seen in the past, Kingsbury doesn't give a damn about the preseason. So does
Not
Cincinnati?
the regular season either, apparently.
I was going to say, no, Kingsbury.
I mean, at least
Kingsbury,
not the second half of it.
Yeah, he cares until about November, and then he checks out. But
yeah,
I don't
He's
really
a
have
big
many
holiday
thoughts.
guy, okay? He enjoys the holidays.
I don't have many thoughts on this game because I really don't see a strong angle either way. I guess I'd lean Cincinnati because Kingsbury's preseason numbers or performances in the past have really been non-existent. And based on the huge contract that they gave Kyler, I'm assuming Kyler and Burrow are not going to play in this game. But Arizona's backup quarterback depth, am I a fan of that? Not really. I'm expecting a very low-scoring, hideous game. But from what I've seen from the Cardinals in the preseason, I have not seen much in the past. I think I'd actually lean under, but I don't know if I can actually play that. I really don't have anything. I got to plead the fifth on this one. I don't know why anybody would bet on this particular game out of all the preseason games.
1-800-GAMBLER. Rossman, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, this is a crap game. So I think we can all pretty much agree on that. You're right. We're not going to see Burrow or Murray play. There's no. At least if we do, I'd be very surprised. I think they're kind of dealing with their own things. Might as well keep them out of the first game. So when you look at that, so let's go to the backups. Cincinnati has nobody as a backup quarterback that is worth anything. I'm simply going to go with Arizona just based on that. And the Cardinals don't have great backups either. It's Colt McCoy and Trace McSorley. So
that's not terrible for preseason.
It's not, but it's not great either. So that's why I'm going to take the Cardinals over a team in the Bengals who, these backups are, not going to see the light of day unless Joe Burrow gets injured. So, I just think that, the Cardinals have some backup QB experience enough to get them the win.
I like my Colt McCoy, but I'm a Texas girl.
I think the move is to watch something else. I think that's the main positive EV move for this game because this should be just terrible football either way.
That's a
Would you say the over-under was 31?
31 and a half.
It's very disgusting, but
and it moved down. It was a 33 and a half.
Oh.
It's even worse.
It could go sub 30. I mean, it's a.
I wouldn't be surprised if this game neither team gets double digits. I'll be honest with you, like a field goal 9-6 type game.
I'll go 17-10 if I had to guess a score or something. Whatever. Yeah, I'll go with the under.
Something like that. I don't want nothing to do with this game. I looked at it, threw up a little bit in my mouth, swallowed it, and moved on. I just didn't want anything to do with this game. So I have no opinion on this. Just for the record, I'm not big on the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, or Kyler Murray. So I think they're going to be very disappointing all year as well. So I'm just not high on them. So I don't want nothing to do with this game.
I think they've finished below 500, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody out there, you don't have to bet every game, okay? You don't have to.
Don't bet
that in mind. It's going to feel like you have to, but you don't actually.
Allie saves her bankroll for Ukrainian ping pong. That's how
Russian.
I thought you were experimenting.
I'm not good at Ukrainian.
Oh, you're not good at
experimenting with Ukrainians.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work. And Czech Republic doesn't work. My system doesn't. And there's no reason in the world that it shouldn't work because it's the same exact thing I'm doing, but it only works for Russian.
So I guess what you're trying to say is you didn't check yourself before you wrecked yourself.
I'm
going
to go do something else now. Thank you.
Cool.
That's it, folks. We're here all week.
Thank you. Feels great. Thank you.
Oh, I'm in charge again. Wait, no, there she is. Okay. Shit.
It was sitting there. I had to say it. It was sitting there. I had to say it. It happened.
And there's what was the movie with Mike Myers, The Cat in the Hat? And he's like, time to go. You got the car keys? Check. Wallet? Check. People from Czechoslovakia? Check.
Yeah.
That's what that made me think of. Okay, let's talk Packers. Let's talk actual football teams. The Packers are playing the 49ers. I know Rickett likes the Niners tonight. San Fran -2.5, totals 35.5. It ticked up 2. Lenny, you go first. What do you got on this?
I hate both of these teams.
That's the spirit.
You have to pick.
I do. No, I have bet the Packers in a teaser. So I like Jordan Love. I think we've seen Jordan Love play in meaningful games, and he can play. He's a good backup. That's it. He's not a number one anywhere or anything like that. So you don't expect Aaron Rodgers to get a lot of reps here. If this was a regular season game, I'd go 49ers. Because it's a preseason game, I'm going to go Packers. Because Aaron Rodgers just he gets owned by San Francisco in the past. He's from the Bay Area. He wanted to be drafted by San Francisco. He got snubbed and went to Green Bay, so he's #bitter for all of his life.
That's his kryptonite, right? I remember that from Total Chaos. That the Niners are his kryptonite.
And I just think at the end of the day, I'm a bigger fan of what Green Bay has done organizational wise than what San Francisco is, and I'm not bought in on Trey Lance. And I think you're going to see more of Trey Lance than you normally would. I don't think you're going to see any Jimmy G because they're trying to obviously trade him and they don't want to hurt him.
Right.
So, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm on the Packers, but plus points for me.
Reichel, what do you got on this one?
I'm going to lean to the Niners here because Trey Lance is actually expected to play. I think there's a 0% chance that Rodgers plays. In fact, he stated publicly to the media that he thinks that playing in the preseason is a monumental waste of time. So at no point do I expect Rodgers to actually play in any preseason games. But I'm looking at the quarterback depth chart for Green Bay. Jordan Love, I personally don't like, but he was thrown into a couple games last year. Now he's, again, second stringers. Maybe he can look decent. I'm still not sold. And Danny Etling is the third-string quarterback. I watched him in the preseason with New England for a couple of years. I didn't think he looked very good. I didn't like him at LSU either. But I'll go with the Niners because Trey Lance is actually going to play a little bit, which I do think can swing it a little bit early on. So maybe a 49ers first half play, something like that. But I'll go with the Niners full game because I do really have question marks about Green Bay's quarterback depth chart at the end. I think the Niners can get it done. So I'll go with the Niners.
All right, Ross, man, you're the tiebreaker then.
I'm going with the 49ers. I do like Jordan Love, but Rachel's right. I mean, there's nothing past Love, whereas the 49ers have Sudfeld and Brock Purdy.
I don't like Purdy either, for the record, but whatever.
That's better than anything that the Packers have outside of Love, I believe.
Yeah.
So this is one where I look at the third and fourth quarter where you're going to have junk points scored by a team that's probably a little bit deeper in the 49ers. Like that, the first half, I'm not sure. I mean, if Jordan Love, I like Jordan Love. So I actually believe this first half would probably be more Green Bay if he plays more, but you're going to get junk points in the third and fourth quarter where the 49ers pull away.
You bet $560 on the Browns in the preseason? Holy moly. Let's go Niners. I just had a question for you and now I've lost it. All right, pass.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had it and then I read something.
Cool. And it's when I lean Packers, I have the Packers on a teaser plus 9.5. I don't think they get blown out.
Okay.
So that's why I lean Packers. I got a 3-team teaser. It's a 7-point teaser. I took the Jets plus 7. It was a pick 'em. I took the Packers plus 9.5. I don't think they get blown out, and I got the Lions.
I'm assuming you got the teaser at pick 'em when the Lions were pick 'em.
Yeah. So I have, and it's I have them. I just had it right here. It's plus.
I mean, you got them probably at 7.
Plus 7.
Yeah.
Jets plus 7, and then the Packers plus 9.5, and that pays me 130 plus 130. So cool. On a 3-teamer, that's all I'm doing on preseason. That's like my official one play.
Okay, I've typed it. Bam. Now you can all have it too. The Lions, Jets, and the Packers in a 6-point teaser. That's what he is doing. So let's talk for people who are new to sports betting or new to betting on football. Let's talk about key numbers a little bit here. Because that's kind of what my eye keeps, like with the Green Bay game, it was at a 3. They set that at Green Bay plus 3. 3 is a key number. Well, here, Ross, man, why don't you explain to the people when you're betting on football, what are key numbers and what do you want to be looking out for?
Me personally, when I bet football, I am always 3.5 is a number that always scares the crap out of me. It should everybody. just because so many games in the NFL have a tendency to end at 3. A team can win by 3, 3.5 always scares me. Whereas likewise, though, 2.5, I'm a big fan of, especially in those tighter, close-knit games. But same with, running a 5.5, 6.5. I personally always stay away from games that are double-digit in the NFL. That's me personally, unless I swear by it. I try to stay away from anything that's 10 plus because, again, it's any given Sunday. So I stay away from those.
Okay, Reichel, what about you? What kind of, and key numbers, for those of you, it's 3, 7, 10 increments of like scoring the way that football scores. So Reichel, what are your key numbers? What's your strategy here?
Well, I'd say the main key numbers that I look at for football, 3, 4, and 7. I mean, that's basically the 3 numbers I look at. 6, you can argue used to, but nowadays when teams are up 5, they tend to go for 2. So you're kind of stuck there. But those are the 3 main numbers in my opinion. Now, I am going to pivot a little bit with the key numbers to preseason because there was a comment saying from Tim in the comment section, be careful with key numbers in the preseason because preseason games are weird. That's 100% true. Yeah. And what he means by that, teams and coaches will do whatever they can to avoid overtime. That is the ultimate thing to avoid in preseason. So you will see a bunch of random 2-point conversions. If a team scores a touchdown and they are now down 4, they will probably go for 2 because they want to avoid any type of overtime scenario. So that goes back to the point that Tim was making. So for key numbers, when it comes to lower spreads in preseason, I'd say 2 or something like that. I tend to just take the money line because I really don't want to get involved in these random 2-point conversions down the stretch. That's my main advice for key numbers. Just because they're key numbers in the regular season doesn't mean anything for the preseason because the main goal for coaches, stay away from overtime. That's it. That's the main rule. So that's something
really
to keep in mind
good advice. I never thought about that. That's a really good tip. I mean, it's 3 weeks of preseason, isn't it? I mean, we got some time in this. So it's important to know these things because this is what we're doing for the next month, y'all. This is a big Ross Benjamin thing. 5.5. He always said in football, if you find a way to take plus 5.5 in football, that's the number for the dogs. Lenny, what are your thoughts on key numbers? What are you looking for?
I mean, I agree with everything both these guys said. I mean, preseason is a couple weeks. The coaches just want to get as much out of them without overplaying them. Nobody wants overtime. Nobody. They don't even want to really play these games. Okay, they just want to have like a month-long practice. They don't. So you got to keep that in mind. And coaches do weird things on numbers. So like that 3.5. The 6, 6.5, if you want to go up to 9.5 to 10, I definitely won't go as far as that goes. Regular season. I'm a big tease guy. So I'll 3 team teasers all day long during NFL. Yeah. If I got a team at 9, I will take them on a 6.5 point teaser to get them up over 14 or 6 point teaser to get them over 14 because 2 touchdowns. I just, that's just my thought process or whatever there, especially if I get like a 2, I will flip that plus 4 on a 6 point teaser and go that route and just add it and move on. Because I think the books are sharp, right? They all the books take our money. So if they think it's going to be within there, usually they're good touchdown. They're not usually way, way off. So I try to flip it, do stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with everything these guys said as far as numbers go.
Reichel, are you a teaser?
Yes.
How do you feel about teasing through? And Ross, I'm going to ask you this too. How do you feel about teasing through 0?
I'm anti. I can understand if you really love a play and you can get a key number in your favor on the other end. So if you can get something from like -2.5 to like +3.5, like I can understand it. Like I can understand the angle there. It's something I used to do. And then I kind of realized the negatives associated with it, and I stay away from it. I kind of stick to the Wong teaser idea, which is I'll cross key numbers if I'm getting points, but I'll try to always stay away from passing 0 if I want to reduce the overall number. I kind of stick to that approach. So occasionally, the lowest I'll go is -0.5, and I'll take the points up to whatever the hell you want to give me for the plus side. But that's kind of how I approach teasers. I will do a couple. Usually I'll do a 2 or 3 teamer almost every week, and we'll go from there. But I tend to try to stick to a Wong teaser approach for me.
Okay, Roz, because I know me and Lenny will tease right through a 0 and give it the middle finger on the way out.
I used to, and then I looked more into it, and now I try to stay away from that as much as possible.
And I think it is situational also, it's definitely a situational thing. But if it's something I would take you on the money line straight up, and now I can get points with you in a tease, then I don't care. I'll tease right through that 0. Rossman, what do you think about it? But I like to hear perspectives, like
I'm the same way. And for me, it's got to be a bet that I would take straight on a -2.5, -3, whatever. If I want to take that straight, then I'm confident in it. I have no problem teasing through the 0.
Right. Because it's just it's another leg of my teaser at that point. It's like something I feel more locked in about. It's just a leg now because I need 3 to get to plus money or whatever. Like 3 on my card.
To me, I have to me, I have basically parlay fillers or teaser parlay fillers. And to me, those are more if I'm strong on playing them anyway, playing the -2.5, 3, whatever we're looking at. I kind of almost play that as a teaser filler because I might as well be playing a money line. I think they're going to win anyway, so I'm getting a couple points on it. I don't mind.
Right. Lenny, your thoughts?
My question is everybody, and like, in the chat, you all say you won't tease through 0. Everybody says, oh, it's terrible. Nobody ever says why.
I know.
Nobody explains to me
why.
Because
you're missing a number. It's because you're like, if you're getting 5 points, 0 is not a point. So, if you had 1, you would get 6. But if you go through the 0, then you're missing a point. That's what I always tell.
In other words, whether you have a teaser -0.5 or +0.5, it's basically the same thing because the odds of tying are basically, non-existent. You've seen more ties recently, but the idea is if you're teasing through 0, +0.5 and -0.5, they're basically the same thing because you need your team to win the game.
Let me be clear when I tease through 0. If, like, for example, Lions right now at 2.5, I will take them +4 or whatever on whatever tease or +3.5. But just to be clear, I'm still single betting them -2.5.
Yeah. And that's what we're saying. Like
I'm in
the exact same boat.
Yeah, it's not
you would money line it. It's a leg.
Right. It's not one or the other. I'm doing both. So
right.
Yes, the same way. If I'm straight betting the Lions -2.5, you're damn right, Lenny. I'm going to go +4 on a teaser or whatever. Right. Absolutely.
The point is, though, that if you're going to do a tease through 0, the reason why people are against it is because you're basically getting 7 points in your case on the 2 other teams. But since you're teasing through 0, you're only getting 6 points on 1. So you're losing a point of value in the teaser. That's why people
because of the half. I get that. Yes,
but you're also increasing your chances of winning that.
I'm just explaining the logic of why.
But that's why we say not to do it. But I'm with Alan. If you think a team's going to win the game, tease that bitch through 0. If they lose, they were going to lose. That's it, y'all. Preach, Alan.
Like the Jets. I mean, they're pick 'em. I bet them straight up tonight, but I also have them on a teaser +7.
I think it's actually okay to potentially tease through 0 in preseason because last year they didn't even play overtime. They just ended the game in a tie. So there actually are some tie opportunities in preseason because they have started to just refuse to do overtime.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
For me personally, I mean, like the value, just because it has more value doesn't mean it pays me money. I mean, value doesn't win and winners win. So if my ticket wins, if I've taken that 2.5 to 3.5 and they lose that game by a field goal and they were favored by a field goal and now I got points, I'm good. So your value is real good and you can talk about that. But when I go to make my car payment, I don't pay with value. I pay with money. That was directed at Nick Earl.
I knew it was. I could feel it.
Mr. Value. I know.
Any other tips, guys, that you can think of about betting on football preseason, regular season? Just like any Ross, man, like little things you might want to share with novices, or Reichel, I'll ask you next. Things to look out for. Lane was talking about -2, +2. Do you have any kind of like feelings about the twos? No,
Don't bet
teasers aren't
preseason,
separate
but we're all going to because it's football. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if we're all honest about it, we all
Don't do
know
that.
we shouldn't be betting preseason ball. All
Red
of us are
light.
going to because we've been waiting for football for so damn long.
And
So
why shouldn't we, though? Why shouldn't we? I mean, if there's a
Well, and
frog jumping competition, I want action
you know
on
what,
it. Why wouldn't
Ellie,
bet
I will tell
preseason
you
football?
kind of my logic behind that is similar to how I was picking MLB totals. Is you don't know when you're going to rely on what backup in the preseason of the NFL. So
But there's no reason I can't live bet it.
Oh no! Oh, absolutely. You can live. Yeah, you can live bet whatever you want. I mean, when you're in the moment, but no, we're all going to bet preseason.
Yeah, no.
But take that into consideration when you bet. I think the overs and unders are probably a little bit safer bets right now than just taking money lines or the spreads. I do believe totals are a safer option in the preseason. That is where I usually have my bread and butter preseason, but I will always bet somewhere on the Lions one way or the other. But yeah, I go totals for preseason if you want, some advice there for anybody.
That's really good advice. Reichel, hi Tom. This is Reichel, everybody. If he likes a plus or -2, he just takes it on the money line.
Yeah.
Reichel, how do you feel about that?
That tends to be a common approach used by some handicappers, which I can get behind. Preseason, once again, is a little bit trickier because you're more likely to see these absurd type of final scores, because if they're down 1, they're going for 2 every time. So you're going to see a couple of interesting spots in preseason especially, but for the overall philosophy during most actual meaningful games, it tends to be the way to go. But I know that you were asking about some other betting tips for the preseason. Simply put, always bet the Ravens. I mean, it sounds obvious, but they've won 21 straight.
Right? Harbaugh.
I made money on them last night.
I'm sure most of the country did. I'm sure that the books mostly took a bath on that game yesterday.
Did my Giants win? They're my Giants because I'm so.
The Giants won. They won, but did not cover.
I took the
care
Patriots
about
on a
covering.
teaser.
I just want the wins.
Yeah,
last night, Patriots threw 0 on a teaser.
Ali was mentioning if I had any tips for preseason. I've actually made a killing on preseason in the last couple of years. I've done very well. I like live totals, especially unders. If you're looking at where you can find value, the fact that you don't have the same quarterbacks playing every second of the game is huge, because odds makers will tend to price totals in a similar, type of way. You get 20-something points in the first half, you're probably going to see a full game total of 40. It might get a little bit adjusted to a preseason game, maybe bumping it down to the high 30s. But we talked about some of these quarterback depth charts. You have Danny Etling as a backup quarterback on the Packers. You have a lot of questionable options. You can get some very nice live totals, especially unders, if you're really anti-third-string quarterbacks for both teams. And another good example would be the Jets-Eagles game. Let's just say you have a low-scoring first half with Wilson and Hurts playing maybe a couple of series in there. You're still going to have Minshew against Flacco, and you're still going to have Mike White against Reed Sinnett. You have decent opportunities to bet live totals where you can save a bunch of points, hoping the backups either take over or get their ass kicked in the second half. But you could see a lot of disparity.
So, like in basketball, I've got my system in college basketball. All the morning Woodies know this, but whatever the total is, say it's 100. If it gets to 10 above, I take it under. And if it goes 10 below, I take it over. So that's just kind of like my jumping off point. I'm looking for 10 one way or the other because I think the book's sharp enough that it'll get in there. This was a good thing. Where is it? Boop. Taking an under right after an early touchdown's a nice way to go and get some value. What are you looking for when you're getting ready to bet your live total? What's your game plan? You know what I mean?
For
what's going to make you fire?
In
general.
I was going to say, because preseason is just completely separate from everything else. That's why I can have to differentiate it, because
you're just
waiting for the scrubs to come in. That's the main variable you're keeping in mind for preseason. So that's how I look at it. But when it comes to actual live totals, You stick to a number of 10. That's fine. I think it really comes down to how sharp you actually think the odds makers are. And we always give Vegas odds makers a ton of credit because it seems like selective recall wise, they're very close on every game. There's a lot of games they're dead wrong about, but people don't talk about them. But the point is, if you think you can find yourself a lot of live value because a live total in football was, or a pregame total, 45, and you can get it at 53, most of the time, Vegas will not be off on a total by 9+ points.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of the logic of taking a live under or trying to find live value. It's giving Vegas odds makers credit and assuming they weren't totally dead wrong on the total they set pregame. That's kind of the logic behind it, isn't it?
Yeah. I do it with college basketball, but I understand basketball numbers and scoring much better than I understand football numbers and scoring.
Well, NFL is usually the sharpest when it comes to where the odds are set because they need it to be the sharpest. That's where most of the money comes in.
Yeah.
So,
Red Trap was telling me it's something like NBA does 20% of what the NFL can do. Like on the best night in the NBA, it's still only pulling like 20% of what any NFL game will pull. I think that's what he was telling me. Ross, are you a big live better?
I try to be. I have to be physically watching the game. I can't live bet if I'm not watching the game. Me personally, I got to be right in it. I got to be seeing it. Makes it a little bit more difficult when you have a 6-year-old and 3-year-old. But no, I love to live bet when I've got the opportunity to do so, but I got to be watching the game. That's just my comfort level. That
is a big difference. Watching the actual game is a huge thing. I mean, there's sometimes where you know what the spread was and you look at your phone or
I mean, not all the time.
Crap, I got to get points right now. But
for the most part, and that's, I mean, and if you're really watching it, and we all can be that way, if we're really watching a game and get a feel for it, if that total or spread hits something and you're like, boy, I don't see it swinging this way, you can make some good money. So yeah,
Lenny is the king of live betting. We love
live betting.
Yeah,
I'll watch 4 football games at a time, and it's all about momentum for me. Hockey's the same way. It's all about momentum, and it's all about the rhythm and where I go, where I see it going, and this and that. And I mean, I do okay with it, but I like live betting. But I gotta be watching it.
Well, you mentioned hockey. That's a great example for variables because especially in the playoffs, the team's going to pull the goalie 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to pull him more earlier or stuff like that. So you play that third period overs, stuff like that, because you're looking for those empty netters, stuff like that. So yeah, live betting is a good way to lose your bankroll.
You don't even drink.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is. You need a few cocktails. That's usually how I'm live betting, by the way. There's probably at least an edible in there and at least a few shots of Crown Royal. So take it for what you're worth. I mean, some people wake up and eat Woodies. I take a shot of whiskey and live bet on a Sunday morning. So let's get after it. You guys got to understand, in Vegas, football starts at 10 a.m. Right. Football starts 10 a.m. So
how do you handle college in Vegas, by the way? A 9 a.m. start time? How the hell do you handle that?
You just don't give a crap about that game. But we do get to watch the Hawaii game. We just trade the morning games for the Hawaii game.
How's that hard?
You know what it is?
Being from Michigan, I would feel. Every time I visit Vegas during football season, I don't know I sleep. I don't think I do. I will be up. I visited one year when the Lions played over in England when they played Atlanta. This was years ago.
6 a.m.
It was at 6 a.m. I've never been so excited in my life, and I've had 2 kids.
Oh, I'm just
soccer. Like I'll wake up really early in the morning to watch soccer games. I've done that many times. Or even Tour de France.
Give me football at 6 a.m. I'm there.
I'll watch the occasional tennis match at 5 in the morning.
So here's the thing. It's a commitment Friday night. Friday night, you make a decision.
I agree.
You're either going hard and you're up and you're just rolling into it Saturday
Some people
morning.
make that decision Thursday because they plan on drinking Thursday as well. So it kind of
depends on how.
I think Lenny's agreeing too. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it depends on how Thursday night football goes and Maction during the week. If Maction action gets me going and Thursday night's good to me, then it's on. There's a reason in my contract with Picks and Parlays. I specifically said I do not work Sundays. It's not because of any religious beliefs or anything like that. It's because you don't want me on air during Lions football.
Lenny, I cannot wait till you and I can start talking midweek Maction later in the season.
Action, baby.
Love
it.
Take the over.
Love Maction.
This was cute. When the Twins were here in town, they were so stoked that baseball started at 4 p.m. He's saying, I was so bummed now I have to wait till 7. I went to Boston for the Final Four in 2015. Was it 2015? Yeah, when Duke won. Anyway, but I was in Boston, and I'm like waiting until 9 p.m. for a freaking basketball game to start, and then it's not even over till midnight. I don't know. I could not live that life. I could not.
Yeah, I'm the guy that's like Sunday morning. I'm up at 7 a.m. We used to have a routine. Me and Mandy would go to like this place called Jams. We'd go to breakfast. They have this Lionheart breakfast. It was like French toast and this big ass omelet and all the meat. And I'd eat that because I had to get ready for it. And then I'd be at the bar by 9:30 for football kickoff at 10. I'm hammered by noon. I'm sober again by the 4 o'clock games for Sunday night. And then Monday, I'm just like,
I'm trying to keep track of all that. Hang on.
I do my friend's
It's a system.
That's my,
all right.
There's an itinerary.
So you're a system drinker.
Beer, Sunday morning breakfast beer. We are running out of time though. So let me pay some bills real quick. I need everyone in the chat to like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Also, download the BetMGM mobile app onto your phone and then use the promo code MORNING. They're going to get you hooked up with up to $1,000 in a risk-free first bet for all new accounts. You want this. You want this happening for you. If you're over at picksandparlays.net and you're looking for premium plays, use the promo code NFL. It's a new promo code. Use that. Save 20% off whatever you buy on the site. Nathan, Red Sox today at Reichel. We got 2 minutes.
Red Sox today. I actually like the over in that one. The Yankees offense has been inconsistent, but he got Herman against Eovaldi. Eovaldi's been a mess. I'm looking at the lineups I like. The bullpens have been struggling lately. It's in Fenway. I like the over. I think you'll see a lot of runs in that game.
All right. So what we were doing, what everyone liked was the Browns. We like the Lions. Those were consensus picks. Browns and Lions. Everyone's in. And then Rossman is going Eagles. Reichel and Lenny are going Jets. We're a little bit torn on the total here. Reichel likes over. Lenny likes under. For the Cardinals game, Lenny don't care. Reichel's going under, and Rossman is taking the Cardinals.
I'm leaning under because it's only 31, but that's the only way I would even consider playing this game.
Okay, so don't write us later and tell us that it went over because he doesn't care. He's probably not even going to bet it, so deal with that. On the 49ers game, we are consensed on the Niners. That is what we think is going down. And then Lenny's teaser is the Lions, the Jets, and the Packers. That's what he's going with. For my Handicapper, I know I'm taking the Braves. And I kind of want to
just to say something. I got to head out in like a minute because I'm doing a show in a minute, so I got to head out. Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys.
See you later, Scott. Thanks for coming by.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.
You too. So that's where you guys are all going to go next is where Scott's going right now, which is Just Parlays, 2 p.m. with Chris King, the Just Parlays show. Scott Reichel is the host of that. So we're going to sign off here. You guys head over there. Dang, my HC is going to be the Braves. Rossman, do you like the Rays or the Orioles better today?
Orioles.
Me too. Okay, perfect. Then I already actually typed this up. That is going to be my Handicapper, even though I'm out of it, but I'm still in it. Play of the day.
I ain't going nowhere.
You can't cut this bitch. All right. Rossman, thank you so much. Welcome to Morning Wood. Oh, here it is right there. See, I already typed it. Rossman, thank you so much for coming on Morning Wood. It was great. We'd love to have you back on lots more through football season. I know you're a big college guy also.
Great time. Anytime.
Fantastic. And people join the Insiders Room Discord. That Nick Parsons, Rye Cape, they're all over there. Rossman, Dan Kaiser, Dustin Bowser. I mean, there's like 50 of you guys. You're all really sharp. Join the Insiders Room Discord. You can find it at the Insiders Room. That's why I use this Twitter to get them to that because I know you have your own. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. You like the O's? All right, that's what I'm doing. Braves and Orioles are my HC plays for today.
There you go.
All right. Thank you so much for coming
Great
on,
show, guys.
Thank you.
That was a really
Go Lions.
Go Lions. Go green, go white. All right. Good luck,
That's
everybody. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, unless you're against the Lions.
Yeah, I'll murder you. I'm just saying.
I'll
Don't
run
be
through a
against the
wall
Lions.
and come after
I'll kill everybody in this damn thing twice.
I'll eat a
Peace.
football right now. I'll eat a whole football.